In this video, we're going to look at collecting failed automated billing attempts. When using payment plans or selling subscriptions, it is critical to have a failed billing recovery process in place to ensure that money isn't slipping through the cracks. Infusionsoft has billing triggers available that can automate based on a failed payment attempt to streamline this process. So in this video, we're going to look at configuring a billing automation trigger, connecting the trigger to a campaign, and setting up a recovery task. To start, we're going to go first set up the billing trigger. So hover over the navigation, and we're going to go to e-commerce settings. On the billing automation on the left, go ahead and select those options. Using this trigger type dropdown, select when a credit card auto charge attempt is made and click Add Trigger, and this will open up a pop-up. We're going to configure the triggers following. We're going to say that when the auto charge fails, and this is the last failure attempt. Also, we want to select the product that we're recovering payment on. So in this case, let's say it's a cookbook. So these are the trigger criteria. Now under the Actions dropdown, we're going to apply a functional tag which is going to kick off the campaign. So under Add New Action, we're going to select Apply Remove Tag, and then we're going to go ahead and find that functional tag. I've already created this tag, and you're going to want to give it a clear name. Infusionsoft Cookbook Payment Fail, because that's the product we created a trigger for. We can hit the green Save button to save this action, and now we can click Save Trigger. So now that we've set up the billing automation trigger, we can go ahead and connect it to a campaign. We're going to start by grabbing a new tag goal and giving it a meaningful name. We're then going to grab a sequence, and this workflow will end with a note being applied. So once we've connected up the objects, we're going to start by filling this stuff out. We'll do the easy stuff first. Let's double click on this tag goal and configure it for the payment fail tag that we just configured in our billing automation trigger. And since we're here, we're going to fill out the note too. This would be an update. And this is the note that gets applied upon successful payment. And we'll put a little bit of context in the note. Person's cookbook payment failed, and we were able to recover it. And now we can mark the task as ready. So the last step is to go configure the sequence. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to remove that functional tag. This ensures that if payment fails in the future, the tag can be reapplied and this whole process will kick off again. This also helps keep the database clean, since this tag would never ever be used for segmenting. It's purely functional. And now we actually have the recovery task. Now, to save myself some time, I'm going to copy the name of this note, because we're going to put that directly in the body of our task to make it easy for the end user. So in this case, this is going to be a call. We'll give some context in the title. failed payment, first name, last name. And now we give the person doing this task instructions. We can say first name, last name, recent payment for the Infusionsoft Cookbook, failed, call them at phone number, and collect payment. Now here's the magical piece. We're going to tell them directly what to do once they've done their job. This makes it pretty easy for everybody to be doing it the exact same way every single time. When you have successfully recovered this payment, apply the, and this is why I copied it earlier, apply the note template, specifically this one, to their contact record, and then mark this task as complete. So now, anybody getting this task should have all the context they need, not only to do the action, but also how to tell the system that it's been done. Plus, if they make a call initially and the person doesn't pick up, they can always push the task back, so that way it still doesn't slip through the cracks and they can follow up in the future. At this point, our task is ready. We simply have to assign a backup owner and choose a priority. And we're going to say this is critical since it's dealing with money that we've already earned. So we might as well recover it. And now we can mark the task as ready. And now the sequence is ready. And at this point, we can publish our campaign. So if the last payment attempt for a product fails, the billing automation trigger that we set up earlier will go ahead and fire and apply the campaign tag, which creates a task for a user to recover the payment. And the note template makes it easy to report on which payments are being recovered. Now this is a bare bones process. We could also have added in a failed payment notification email into its recovery sequence to let the customer know about the situation and for them to expect a phone call. Now this video, we built a model that assumes the final payment attempt has failed, but we can actually create a unique billing fail tag for each attempt, and we can build a cascading structure to try and recover on every failed attempt. And it would look something like this. So in your billing trigger, you can say fire this on the first attempt, fire this on the second, and then if there's only 3 times, fire it on the last one or the third one. This can also provide further insight into the effectiveness of our recovery process because we'll have data on who actually makes it all the way. And that would need to be connected. One other thing to be aware of is we can also set up a billing trigger for when a payment is successful and for when the previous attempt failed. So we can say when the auto charge is successful and the previous failed for this product, then we can apply a tag. And then what we would do is we would go ahead and add that into our model here. Because if it fails once but it works on the rebill, there's no need to create a task for somebody because the payment was successful. So we would adjust our model by creating a tag for successful payment, and we would move that over here. We'd also want to go ahead and reset that tag so the process can repeat next time. Again, by having a successful payment billing trigger that's looking for if a previous one failed, this can definitely save man hours in the instances where for whatever reason it fails the first time but it works on a subsequent attempt. Now, one other thing to be aware of is when you're setting up the billing trigger, if you do not select any product specifically, meaning if you just leave this blank, then that's going to fire for the failed attempt on any product. However, it's always recommended to create a unique trigger and recovery campaign for each product because we can customize the messaging for that specific offer. This also makes it easier to report on the different product recovery initiatives. Infusionsoft also has a membership site add-on called Customer Hub, and one of the features is that customers can manage their own orders and subscriptions. And this could be used to implement a similar recipe, except it's completely automated. For a template similar to this model that we built earlier, download the Collect All Recurring Billings campaign from the marketplace. In the next video, we're going to look at creating a one-click upsell.